Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the Oval Office to reveal a side of US presidents you've probably never heard about. We often see them as serious leaders, but behind the scenes, they were just as human as the rest of us, with their own strange habits, hidden talents, and a surprising love for a good prank. Get ready, because we're about to uncover 10 presidential secrets that will completely change how you see these historical figures. Let's start with a classic prankster, Calvin Coolidge. Known as Silent Cal for his quiet demeanor, he was anything but silent when it came to a good laugh. Coolidge loved to press all the buttons on his desk, summoning everyone from butlers to bodyguards, and then hide to watch them all rush in, completely bewildered. He even had a fondness for buzzing the emergency alarm, just to see the Secret Service scramble into action. It seems the 30th president had a hidden, mischievous side that the public rarely got to see. Now let's talk about Andrew Jackson, the 7th president. He was known for his tough-as-nails persona, but he had a surprisingly soft spot for a parrot named Pole. Jackson loved this bird so much that he even taught it to speak. The only problem? The parrot picked up some of Jackson's less-than-presidential language. Legend has it that Pole the parrot had to be removed from Jackson's own funeral because it wouldn't stop cursing. Can you imagine the scene? It's a hilarious, if slightly inappropriate, testament to the bond between a man and his foul-mouthed feathered friend. Moving on to Lyndon B. Johnson, a president who was definitely not shy. LBJ was famous for his in-your-face political style, and this extended to his personal habits. He was known to conduct meetings from just about anywhere, including the bathroom. That's right, high-level aides and congressmen would often find themselves discussing national policy while Johnson was otherwise occupied. He also had a strange obsession with his personal shower, insisting on a nozzle with enough water pressure to, in his words, peel a man's skin off. It was all part of his larger-than-life personality. Let's rewind a bit to one of the founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson. We know him as the brilliant author of the Declaration of Independence and a visionary architect. But did you know he was also a borderline obsessive record keeper? Jefferson documented everything. He kept meticulous records of the weather, noting the temperature multiple times a day. He logged every single cent he spent, whether it was on books, wine, or groceries for his Monticello estate. This detailed accounting gives us an incredible window into his daily life and the economy of the time. From obsessive notes to a surprising hobby, let's look at Herbert Hoover. Before he was president, Hoover had a unique way of communicating with his wife, Lou. To maintain their privacy, they would often speak to each other in Mandarin Chinese, a language they picked up while living in China in the late 1890s. Imagine staff members in the White House overhearing the first couple having a conversation they couldn't understand. It was their own secret code, a private world right in the middle of the most public house in America. Speaking of communication, let's jump forward to John F. Kennedy. We remember him for his charisma and inspiring speeches, but JFK was also a huge fan of James Bond. He was an avid reader of Ian Fleming's novels, and it is said that the spy thrillers influenced his own perception of espionage and the Cold War. In fact, just before his passing, he listed From Russia with Love as one of his top 10 favorite books. It's fascinating to think that the president was getting just as caught up in the adventures of the 007 as the rest of the world. Now, for a quirk that's a bit more out there, let's talk about Abraham Lincoln and his interesting beliefs. While he was one of our greatest presidents, Lincoln and his wife, Mary Todd, were deeply interested in spiritualism, which was popular at the time. After the loss of their son Willie, they reportedly held seances right inside the White House, attempting to contact his spirit. Lincoln was also known to have premonitions and strange, vivid dreams, including one he had just days before his passing, where he dreamt of his own demise. It's a somber and mysterious side to a man we thought we knew. Let's lighten the mood with another prankster, Theodore Roosevelt. This rugged, outdoorsy president brought his energetic spirit right into the White House, and so did his children. The Roosevelt kids were legendary for their antics. They roller skated in the halls, slid down banisters, and even smuggled a pony named Algonquin up the elevator to visit their brother who was sick in bed. Teddy Roosevelt encouraged this playful chaos, believing it brought life and joy to the executive mansion. He certainly created a lively and unforgettable atmosphere. Our next president had a secret that was less of a quirk and more of a hidden talent. Ulysses S. Grant, the famed Civil War general, was known for his stoicism and grit. But what many people do not know is that he had a peculiar ability to sense when he was being watched. He couldn't stand it. He would go out of his way to avoid parades and crowds if he could. Even more specific, he had an almost supernatural ability to tell the speed of a horse just by hearing its hooves. It's a strange, almost equestrian sixth sense for the great general. Finally, let's talk about a modern president, Ronald Reagan. Known for his charm and communication skills, Reagan also had a serious sweet tooth, specifically for jelly beans. He started eating them to help him quit smoking his pipe. His favorite brand was Jelly Belly, and he made them a staple in the Oval Office and on Air Force One. He famously had a special jar created for them on his desk, and even sent them into space with the astronauts. The company even created a new flavor, blueberry, just for his inauguration so there could be a patriotic mix of red, white, and blue beans. And there you have it, 10 strange, surprising, and secret stories from the lives of American presidents. From parrot-induced funeral chaos to bathroom meetings and White House seances, it's clear that these leaders were far more complex and quirky than the history books let on. It just goes to show that behind every great title is a person with their own unique story. Which one of these surprised you the most? Let me know down in the comments. I love reading your thoughts and discussing these fascinating tidbits of history. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this peek behind the presidential curtain, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into history's hidden corners. Until next time, stay curious.